back to Minute Maid Park as the Astros take on the Rangers today in the latest edition of the Lone Star Series. Astros will be looking to right the ship after 3 straight 2-1 losses. It's those types of games that require a very small margin for error. And in our Geico quote today, A.J. Hinch talked about how important the little things are.
I think we've got to do the little things a little better. We've got to protect 90 feet a little bit better. We've got to take advantage of 90 feet. Those are things that in close games I always look back to. What we could have done differently, what we could have done better, and a lot of times there's a swing at bat in there, or a big pitch, or a big hit, or something that happens where one team wins over the other, and it ends up being the difference in the game. And we might not know when that is. It might be taking advantage today. If we get runners in scoring position early in the game against Hamels, we need to score. And that's not rocket science. That's just competitive baseball. And I think it's important for us to do the little things a little better to get some wins.
Coming up next, Brownie and Ash will get you set for first pitch and show you the lineup and the bats that'll be looking to right the ship.
...2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. By Neighbors Emergency Center, the best neighbors ever, making lives better. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Welcome inside Minute Maid Park. For Game 3 of this 6-game homestand, the Baltimore Orioles come in after the off day tomorrow. But now it's Game 3 of this series, and it's Game 6 of the season series. And the Astros, with Dallas Keuchel about to take them out, are 0-5 against their in-state rival Texas Rangers club. So this is really important for them to get things turned around starting today, Ash.
It's amazing how the Astros have been unable to score here recently. It's hard to turn things around when the bats are not swinging it. And the pitching has been much better, including Dallas Keuchel. He lost his last time out, that in Chicago against the White Sox. Actually took a no decision in that ball game. But he was so much sharper the first 3 to 4 innings, finding his spots down around the knees, on the edges, and getting ahead. Had a little more velocity with his fastball. Just looked like everything was clicking better for Dallas. But then he lost it, and when he did, he lost it in a big way. But for Dallas, now about trying to maintain that strike zone, and the good part of the strike zone for him deeper into the ball game.
And as the kids take their places in their seats, we'll check the Texas Rangers starting lineup for Jeff Bannister. Drew Stubbs is the leadoff man and right fielder. It's Ian Desmond batting second in center field. The DH batting third is Prince Fielder. Cleaning it up at third base is Adrian Beltre. He has started every Ranger game this year. In left field, it's Nomar Mazara. At shortstop, Elvis Andrus. At first base, Ryan Rua. The catcher's Bobby Wilson. Batting ninth at second base is Hanser Alberto.
Now we'll take a look at some of the numbers on Dallas. It's not all that impressive. He won his first, two of his first 3 starts on the season. From then on, it's been a rough go. 25 starts here at Minute Maid Park, 18-1 now over the last couple of seasons. Great ERA, so he pitches well in this yard. And for Dallas, you've got to think in his mindset, it's about time to turn things around against these Rangers.
He tries to snap a 4-game losing streak today. His mound opponent is lefty Cole Hamels, who has an 11-game winning streak, so a couple of streaks on the line. And now the ball goes to Keuchel as he gets set to face Drew Stubbs. The Rangers are a game and a half behind first place Seattle in the AL West. Texas with a 24-19 record, finishing up a road trip with a 2-3 record so far. Stubbs at 250 has 2 homers. He's driven in 5. And there you see the Keuchel's corner beard in place for Drew Stubbs. And there's strike one. Field and Culbreth, the crew chief, rings it up as a home plate umpire. Stubbs gives a good defensive player to that Ranger outfield, who has played a lot of center field in his career, playing right today. And it's no balls, 2 strikes.
Well, those first 2 pitches fit right into the mold of what we were talking about. That Dallas is starting to feel that spot now, and able, whether it be outside corner, inside corner, he's able to hit it.
Ground ball to shortstop. Carlos Correa. 1 out for Keuchel.
And if Drew Stubbs has any history against Dallas, and not a whole lot, but he would say, look, I saw the same guy right there that you guys were looking at all of last year. Just spotted it very well on 3 pitches.
That's vintage Keuchel, and he is one of the top ground ball ratio pitchers in the majors. He's 4th currently in the American League. 2.69 ground balls for every fly ball. Ian Desmond in center field has put some things together. That is ball 1 to Desmond. Desmond, a .267 hitter with 6 homers, has 25 runs batted in, and he's 1 for 8 in this series. That makes it a 2-ball, no strike count with Prince Fielder on deck. In Keuchel's career, he is 4-5 against the Rangers with a 4.20 ERA. He lost his start in Arlington in April. Chop foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. In that game, Keuchel gave up 13 hits and 6 earned runs in 6 innings. But he has been such a good pitcher here at Minute Maid Park in his career. This season, 1-1 at home with a 3.26 ERA for 3 starts. Tap to the right side. Altuve over Tyler White.
Tyler White for an instant looked like he was tempted to go after that ground ball, but very alertly and sharply sprinted to the bag, got there nicely for Altuve.
Lazy 2-hopper. Now Prince Fielder on a 4-game hitting streak. Looks out at the right side of the infield, and they're shifting for him. Altuve heads out for shallow right field on a 199 hitter with 2 homers, 23 runs batted in. 4-game hitting streak for Fielder. He's hit .286 lifetime against Keuchel. And there's ball 1 for Dallas. Actually, the left and right-handed splits are just about identical in terms of batting average against Dallas Keuchel. Lefties are hitting .286, righties .289 against Dallas, and there's the way Altuve is positioned. Fielder hasn't really cranked it up in terms of batting average, but he has 23 runs batted in. Very respectable total. He's been hitting well and grounding out in terms of runner at third, 1 out kind of situation to get a run in or a sacrifice fly. He's been doing those things in those situations, but he has not really unleashed his home run swing or driven the ball all that well. And there you see what he's done.
You know, even as simple as that sounds, Bronny, That's an area where the Astros have really lacked this year, that ability with less than 2 outs, get the runner home from third, and there are ways you can do that without getting a hit.
That's what Fielder has been doing. This time it's a punch out and a very fast first inning with only a dozen pitches for Dallas. Sitting now, the Astros come up. Here's their lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A.J. Hinch will go with Jose Altuve at second base. George Springer in right field. Carlos Correa, the shortstop. Evan Gattis, the DH. Colby Rasmussen left field. Tyler White at first base. Marwin Gonzalez third base. Jason Castro catcher. Jake Marisnick center fielder.
And the 32-year-old left-hander on a big winning streak. Cole Hamels, 11 straight wins in terms of decisions. Last couple of times out, pitching against Oakland and the White Sox, not sharp, in particular with his fastball and his curveball. He mixes in a great changeup, occasionally cutting a heater.
Foul back. Altuve is at 0-1 in the count. He leads the league in on-base average at .421. And he's tied for the league lead in runs scored with 39 with a .335 average. 9 homers, 26 runs batted in, but he's been slowed down a little. 1 for 8 in this series. That's out in the air to center field. Desmond. 1 out for Hamels. The Rangers have won 2-1 Friday night, 2-1 last night, and the Astros have lost 3 consecutive games by 2-1 scores. They lost the finale in Chicago 2-1. 7 of their last 9 games have been 1-run ball games, and they've lost 5 of the 7. George Springer at .259 has 9 homers. He's driven in 25 with a couple of hits in this series.
Those numbers you just mentioned, Brownie, leave you frustrated because you can become complacent to the extent that you feel like, well, we're getting there. We're getting close in games, but you've got to close the deal.
Springer looks at it. 0-2. George is on a 10-game hitting streak.
Look at that first pitch where it's located. The MD Anderson strike zone brought to you, and boy, that big breaking ball.
Strikeout for Hamels, 2 outs.
That heater up to 93 on a real good outing. Cole Hamels can run it up around 95, maybe 94 these days, but that's a tough at bat right there when you look at those locations.
Hamels is 5-3 in his career against the Astros with an ERA of 4.5. Carlos Correa, a .259 hitter, has 7 homers. He's driven in 20. He had a rough night last night, striking out 3 times in an 0-for-4 evening against Cesar Ramos and the bullpen, which was outstanding. Well, Correa 1 for 8 in this series, and he has plenty of company. These Astros hitters just have not been able to get anything cranked up at all this weekend. Fouled away in the 2-1 loss Friday night facing Colby Lewis. They had 1 run on 6 hits. Last night 1 run on 3 hits against Ramos and the 3 relievers.
I think you got a title for a movie right there.
That's a foul tip for strike 2. Well, the Astros don't want a sequel if this is a movie, because this has not been the way they drew it up. They're now 9 games out of first. They're 17-27. In the dirt, Correa is a strikeout victim, and that ends a 1-2-3 first for both lefties. Game, he was T-Rex Springer.
You know, that's going to be tough to be a go up and get it receiver with those arms. He's also going to be tough to bring down after taking the handoff.
He had the upright running style as he took the handoff from Jake Marisnick. Yeah, Eric Dickerson type of a runner, apparently.
Yeah, no goggles needed.
We do not have a yardage total on how much T-Rex Springer gained in yesterday's game. Adrian Beltre leads it off. Smashes one to third. Marwin Gonzalez. It's a 1-pitch out.
Well, for Dallas Keuchel, and a little bit like Cole Hamels, but extreme for Keuchel. If he's spotting it well, getting ahead early in counts, he'll force the hitters to swing the bats and try to get something early in the count where they might get something they can handle.
Yeah, he's been weighed down by 25 walks in 56 1/3 innings coming into this game. Nomar Mazara 299, 5 homers, 13 runs batted in, 1 for 7 in this series. And Dallas has changed his routine a little bit between starts. He throws strike 1 there. Looking very sharp here today so far. And was that a swing? Yes, C.B. Buckner indicates strike 2 for Mazara. Ash, we'll take a look at this first.
Keuchel pitch usage comparison. Excuse me, Mattress Firm is what we're looking at. Yeah, a little cross up, but we'll get back to you in just a moment.
I was going to ask you about Keuchel's last start. Gave up a home run in the 4th inning to Abreu. And he gave up 3 runs, pitched well, but then you talked about it at the end of his outing, and he went 6 1/3, but he walked 3 in that 7th inning, left the bases loaded, and none of those runs scored.
Yeah, if you happen to be watching that inning, he was not even close at that point. Early in the game, very sharp. By the way, I want to point out that I was crossed up on that last pitch. So
okay,
that's what happened.
That happens.
Time now for the forward spray. Oh no, let's take a look at our MD Anderson strike zone. Yeah, there you go. And some nicely spotted pitches. And now time for the forward spray chart. I got the signs right now. Dallas Keuchel pitch usage comparison. First 8 starts on the left to his last start. And you can see a much larger usage of the fastball last time out. I would contend that's because suddenly he was able to spot it, get it where he wanted, and then it changes the other pitches to go along with it. We'll see how that plays out for Dallas today.
Showing Bud, Elvis Andrus takes strike 1. He's on a 7-game hitting streak. Up to 290. Hit his first home run of the season last night. And he's driven in 15, going 2 for 7 in this series. Bouncer Keuchel, he knocks it down, scrambles, takes his time, and throws him out. Just to make it interesting, he has retired 6 in a row, and Keuchel, a Gold Glove winner last year, shows you how he did it.
Second, every Wednesday night home game is a $1 Hot Dog Wednesday presented by Nolan Ryan Beef. The next $1 Dog Wednesday of the season is Wednesday, May 25th. For more information, visit astros.com/$dogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brendan. No score, no base runners. Evan Gattis steps up to lead off the home second. And there's strike 1 on a breaking pitch from Cole Hamels. Gattis with a .232 batting average, has 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. 1 hit in this series for Evan. It's 1-1. Baltimore Orioles will be here for that next Wednesday night $1 Hot Dog night. Tomorrow's an off day for the Astros. The Rangers go back home. In the air off the bat of Gattis. It goes out to right field. Drew Stubbs coming in. Hamels has retired 4 in a row, and he's been on a roll for quite some time now. A reminder now, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in the game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. So Hamels, with this 11-game winning streak, has really done what the Rangers had hoped he would do when they traded for him last July. He beat the Astros in Texas 2-1 back on April 20th as a part of that winning streak, giving up 1 run in 6 2/3 innings. He was their 7th different opening day starter in 7 years. Colby Rasmus to left field. They're getting up in the Keuchel's corner area, and it's a foul ball for strike 1. All those beards getting up in unison there.
You know, the beard growth down in that area has gotten stronger and stronger now as we're getting closer into the summer.
Barbers are banned from that section of the ballpark. In tight. 1-1. Rasmus on a 7-game hitting streak, has 8 homers, 31 runs batted in.
It is a blade-free zone.
Rangers shift for him. In for a strike at the knees, and it's 1-2. The Rangers have dominated the Astros since Houston moved to the American League West. Texas has won 52. Houston has won 19. That's Tony Beasley, closest to the camera, the third base coach of the Rangers, who's been getting cancer treatments here in Houston. So he's been away from the job, but everybody around the Ranger organization quite encouraged to see Tony Beasley in uniform here this weekend. Rasmus is down on strikes. That's 3 for Hamels.
Yeah, whatever's going on right now with the bats, it might be time to just loosen up, air it out, have some good hacks.
Hamels comes back up on the hill, facing Tyler White now. White, a .235 hitter, has 7 homers, 18 runs batted in, 0 for 4 in this series. Hamels delivers ball 1. Hamels, a first-round pick of the Phillies in 02. And his changeup is a real staple for him, Ash.
He's got a great one. You know, when he first came up, and people were dazzled by his stuff because he could go mid-90s with the fastball that he spotted well. Had a nice curveball, but he had a changeup that, like other guys that have the good changeups, just doesn't get hit.
Broken bat roller. Andrews throws out White. Both pitchers perfect through 2.
Sounds so good in the last segment. I had to come check it out. And I'm down here in Keuchel's corner. Everybody's going crazy when Keuchel takes the hill. It's a really great environment. And you know what? I think this is the closest I'm going to get to actually having a beard. So, you know, I just went with it.
That's a good look for you, Brendan. It matches your hair perfectly.
Brendan, way to crank up the growth.
Yeah, very nice time out there. So keep the karma the way it has been. Keuchel has retired the first 6. Ryan Rua steps up to open the 3rd inning. Played some left field in last night's game, finding himself at first base for this one. With the lefty hitting Mitch Moreland on the bench, there's strike 1 to Rua. 250, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in for Rua. He fouls that one in. It's 0-2.
A quick early assessment on Dallas Keuchel. It looks a lot like what we grew accustomed to watching last year, doesn't it?
Yes.
There have been a couple of pitches that have floated up into the heart of the zone, but you can also help yourself. When hitters start looking for that perfect pitch all the time, they get surprised by one that finds the middle of the plate.
And he hit him with a pitch down and in on the foot. So that's the first base runner of the game on an 0-2 pitch. Rua was hit.
I'm guessing we can accurately call that a back foot slider.
Yes, literally it was, as we'll see.
Watch this slider come toward that back foot of Rua and just get a piece going by. It did it. It certainly hits ground. Yes, it does get some foot.
So a wise approach for a hitter when he's down 0-2 to go ahead and take one for the team, as he did. Bobby Wilson. Wilson hits one for the gap in left center field. And now Rua will come to third, and he will be sent home to make it 1-0 Rangers on the RBI double by Wilson.
Kind of sums up the Texas Rangers right about now, certainly against the Astros, where they get their first base runner of the day and then follows the extra base hit. See where this pitch is, and there's that pitch that does find the heart of the plate, up through the zone, very hittable, and it comes right after the hit batter.
The Rangers cash in, and Wilson gets his 12th run batted in. Well, last night's catcher, Brian Holiday, had a pair of doubles for the Rangers. Now it's Hanser Alberto. The corner infielders are in on the grass. He is pushing a bunt off the screen. There's strike one to the number 9 hitter. Rougned Odor getting the day off today. Odor has not hit very well lately and does not have good career numbers against Keuchel. 2 for 17.
Kids, you want to be successful on the bunt. Don't jab with the bat like that. Hold the bat steady, utilize the knees to move to the ball. That jab will create a lot of pop-ups, poor bunts.
He gets this one down, but it trickles foul. And it's 0-2. Alberto, a handyman, has played all the 4 infield positions this season.
Let's see if improvement takes place. Not so much. But then again, it's tough to get to that pitch, but that's why they teach put the bat at the top of the strike zone flat and then utilize the knees to softly move to the ball.
Odor's appeal of his 8-game suspension could be heard in the next day or two. Apparently there's no scheduled hearing yet, but it could be tomorrow from what we're told. Alberto, after failing to get the bunt down, strikes out. That's number 3. So if the 8-game suspension holds, the Rangers will have to play without Odor for those 8 games and cannot replace him on the roster.
Let's take a look now at our Lexus defensive rankings for the Astros in the outfield. A lot of good arms is what we look at. You see all reds. The rankings are strong. George Springer a 10 in right field. Marisnick 9 in center field, and all good arms. Colby Rasmus also. You don't run against him. He's so accurate. Good strength on the throwing arm. This is certainly one of the best throwing outfielders or outfields and go get it outfields in all of the game.
Drew Stubbs fouled it, and Stubbs is down 0-1 in the count. And Springer got another outfield assist in last night's game. George has 4 assists. Colby Rasmus has 5. Colby is second in the American League in outfield assists. 1 ball, 1 strike. Typically center fielders don't get a whole lot of throwing assists, outfield assists. They might get some if the infielders relay the ball to a base and throw out somebody that way. 1 and 2, but yeah, usually the corner guys are the ones who throw people out at home plate, right?
You know, that's an intriguing statement you make about center fielders, and I was quickly trying to rummage through why that might be. Center fielders are usually that guy that can really go get it. So the arm isn't of the utmost focus there. Right field tends to be the spot. Right field has the long throw to third on the base hit, first to third. And left field has the short throw, so a lot of guys who don't throw well go to left field, but that speedy go-get-it guys in center field. In this case with Jake Marisnick, you've got a guy that can go get it and throw at the same time.
True. He's the whole package defensively, no doubt. Strike 3 call. Stubbs is victim number 4.
You know, Dallas is picking up the strikeouts. That's not your ideal pitch in that scenario. But in finding that outside edge up in the zone, a lot of hitters think umpires are simply not going to call it.
Desmond, who grounded out earlier, has hit .330 in his last 29 games with a .591 slugging percentage. And that's into right field. Springer will have a chance to make a throw here. He airs it out to home plate and not in time. 2-0 Rangers with Wilson coming home and Desmond making it into second. It's a single and an RBI is 26th. He takes second on the throw.
So why is it important that you hit through a cutoff man when you're throwing from the outfield, so you give at least the illusion to the other base runner that you can get him? Watch this throw come in and watch the cutoff man for George. There is simply no chance to get there. Plays late at the plate, maybe, and I'm not saying that a cutoff man would absolutely take that throw right there, but it may not be necessary because the runner feels that maybe he's going to be dead meat heading to second anyway.
Prince Fielder struck out earlier. 2-0 now. That's rip foul. Well, the way this season is going for the Astros, there's a tendency that the players have to fight to think, here we go again. The inning starts with an 0-2 count. Ruiz hit by the pitch. Wilson hits a double. And then with 2 outs, Desmond comes up with the RBI single. Against a team with a 5-0 record against Houston this year. It's all about limiting the damage here now for Dallas Keuchel. This one trickles away and Desmond will advance to third base.
We could all hear the third base coach holler and go, and I think all of us were probably jumping up out of our seats and trying to move right there, but clearly a pitch Jason Castro will get a pass ball on.
Yes. Like he turned the mid over on it. That's in the dirt. Yeah, Spike Owen is coaching third for the Texas Rangers. He's taken over in the absence of Tony Beasley. Good major league shortstop. He went to UT, right?
Yes. Yeah, and he's I mean, as well as he's sounding off right now, that's ideal for the base runners.
The line toward the left field corner, slicing and foul.
Not sure why the Astros book has them pitching away consistently on Prince Fielder. This is really the hitter he's become. He'll hit it hard to left field. He'll take the off speed and yank it to right for the power.
He had a 2-run game-winning double Friday in that 2-1 win.
Into left center.
Yeah. 3-2 now to Fielder. He's walked 14 times. Keuchel has not won since he beat Detroit here April 15th, 1-0. Fielder takes the walk. And that's the first of the game for Keuchel. He was allowed 4 base runners in the inning, facing Beltre now. Beltre has started all but 1 game at third base. He started 1 as the DH. His fielding percentage is the best in the American League. So showing no signs of slowing down, and he got the 2-year contract extension. In the dirt for ball 1. The Astros are now 10-12 at home this season. Looking for a turnaround day today. They are 10-10 in the month of May. In for a strike, 1-1, and their starting pitching has really come around. They've had 5 straight quality starts now, although they're 2-3 in those 5 games, so the hitting is not matched up with the pitching in these last few games. Foul back, 1-2 to Beltre. Only one third baseman has played more major league games at that position than Beltre. Brooks Robinson, who's played about 300 more than Beltre's 2,525. Rounds that one foul, and it's still a 1-2 count. Rangers will play tomorrow night. Derek Holland pitching for them against the Angels' Nick Tropiano. After the Angels come into Arlington, the Pittsburgh Pirates are headed that way. Now time called. Two and two. Cincinnati leads Seattle 4-2, and they have played 4 in the Queen City. Seattle has won the first couple of games of that series, winning behind King Felix yesterday. Beltre stays alive. This is Keuchel's longest losing streak since he lost 4 in a row from early August through early September of 2013. This is his 16th career start against the Rangers. That's the most he's had against one opponent. And his 4 wins against Texas is tied for an Astros high against the Rangers. Full count now with Mazara on deck. Keuchel had, as you know, a 17-game home winning streak until he lost here to the Minnesota Twins May 2nd. Fielder will be taking off for second. Now time is called. Marisnick a few steps toward right center for Beltre. Another foul ball.
Starting to see more and more pitches now from Dallas up in the zone, and not in those ideal locations that we saw, especially in the first inning.
To left center field, Marisnick churning hard for it. A long run that's in for extra bases. 1 run is scored. Here's Fielder around third, coming to the plate, and that will make it 4-0 Texas on a 2-run double by Beltre. That gives him 29 runs batted in on double number 10 of the year.
Once you start missing your spots, damage can come quickly.
Four runs on 3 hits in the inning. Mazara's the batter. He struck out looking in the second. And there's strike 1, and pitch count really climbing for Keuchel in this 3rd inning after a really quick first and second. In the dirt, and it's 1-1 to Mazara, the 8th Ranger to bat here in this frame. Keuchel in his last 25 starts at Minute Maid Park is 18-1 with a 1.72 ERA, and the Astros have gone 21-4 in those 25 games. Two and one.
Slider, instead of being down toward that outside edge, left up through the heart of the plate, and it's there have just simply been those moments where it escapes Dallas.
Two and two. Now puzzling because he was really in a nice groove in retiring the first 6 batters today.
That's what I would have said in Chicago over the first 3 innings. Extremely sharp.
Out to right center field. That's going to be in for a hit. Marisnick picks it up, but a run will score to make it 5-0 on the RBI single by Mazara. 14th run batted in for Nomar Mazara.
On fastballs, it's tough to determine what was the intent of the pitch, but on a breaking ball, and Dallas throws only a slider, but he varies the slider. This looks more like a curveball just launched up and probably finding a fair chunk of the plate, but up nonetheless. That is not where that pitch was intended to be.
Beltre scoring. Elvis Andrus will be the 9th Ranger to bat in the inning.
The Coca-Cola Value Nights package is one of the best ballpark bargains available for select Monday to Thursday regular season games. This offer scores you a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn, all for just $18. To purchase tickets, visit Astros.com/Coke Value, or you can call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Chris Davinsky is getting up in the Astros bullpen. Keuchel facing Elvis Andrus now. He grounded back to Dallas. Strike one by Andrus, the 9th Ranger to bat here in this big 3rd inning for them as Davinsky gets loose. 53 pitches thrown by Dallas so far. One ball, one strike. 35 pitches in this inning for Dallas. Foul ball makes it 1-2. Rangers are 4th in the American League in runs scored. They've scored 195 runs for the season. Andrus went fishing and wound up a strikeout victim. That's number 5 for Keuchel, who strikes out for all 3 outs in the 3rd inning, but gives up 5 runs.
as we head to the bottom of the third, and it's time for our Chevy Stroh Poll, Astros fans. And today we want to know what your favorite unique feature is at Minute Maid Park. Is it A, the Crawford boxes, B, the train, or C, El Grande? Guys, I've ridden that train. Have you been up there?
Never have. How about you, Ash?
No, I was just thinking about how much I'd like to ride El Grande.
Well, you don't ride El Grande,
No,
Ash.
you can't do that, huh?
No.
Well,
That's what you want to ride
I've
right
got
there.
a ticket, apparently. Well, maybe I was misled.
Put you up there with the oranges. That could be a nice seat.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Marwin Gonzalez takes strike one, 5-0 Rangers. Marwin at 234 has 4 homers, 12 runs batted in. He crushed one last night for the Astros' only run. Batting right-handed off the lefty Cesar Ramos. And you and Blummer have talked about it quite a bit. How much more power Marwin has as a right-handed batter. We certainly saw it in last night's game.
I mean, he's legit in terms of being able to drive the ball from this side of the plate. The home run swing from the left is a quick stroke, and he'll hit his occasional home run that way, but he's got some genuine pop, and he handled the right-handed knuckleball from this right side of the plate recently in Boston. Did very well.
Stephen Wright, yeah. Pitch inside from Hamels. Hamels being spotted with this big lead early now, 5-0, shooting for win number 5 of the season. His career ERA at Minute Maid Park is 4.91. He gets a swing and a strikeout, and that's number 4. Now he sets up his fastball and throws it late in the count.
Yeah, he does. And see, there is intent here. You can see the catcher's glove saying, let's get it up the ladder. Second strikeout already on the day for Hamels, where he has utilized that heater up out of the zone.
Jason Castro follows. He has a .220 average, 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. And that's ball 1. 7 straight retired at the outset by Hamels. Castro with 1 hit in this series. His trend has been upward the last 21 games. Dropped by Alberto and safe. He could not find the handle, and he wants it reviewed, it looks like. If that's the correct reading of that, holding his hand up, but maybe not.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get his wish here.
Well, he hasn't made an error all year, so he'd like to undo this one.
I thought Jason hustled this out and eventually beats the play, but that's just clanking it.
Rua tried to buy him a call.
It looks like Castro's gotten to the bag. That's the view that we desire, and that's not going to get overturned.
Oh, it's an error by Alberto, his first of the year. 5-0 lead. The Astros get their first base runner, and Marisnick is the batter. Flaring that one out of play. There's strike 1 to Jake. Jake at .098 has no homers, 1 RBI. He's had 41 at bats with 4 hits. A.J. Hinch really wants to get him going. No balls, 2 strikes.
He's got a golden opportunity right now with Gomez on the DL. Find yourself once again reestablish that value to the team.
His defensive value is unquestioned. Last season he started out really well. Big month of April last year for Jake Marisnick.
Well, as it finished up on the season, he was right in that area trying to join the double-digit home run club. Wound up with 9 on the year and had a fair period of time in which he could join the club, just never got entry.
The balls, 2 strikes to Marisnick. Right-handed hitters are hitting .265 against Hamels this season with 7 homers, 147 at bats. Now Gomez apparently is going to be heading for Corpus Christi tomorrow, according to reports. That's out into left center field, and it gets by the sliding center fielder Desmond. Here's Castro being held at third base. It looked like Desmond was going to be able to get there, and then he may have misplayed it because Marisnick winds up at second, Castro at third with one out.
Yeah, I think the former shortstop got fooled in the end with this ball. I thought initially it was going to find the gap, and then Desmond closed that gap very quickly. Watch as Desmond gets to the ball. Did he lay back too far, and did he slightly overrun it in the process? Yeah, I think both.
Ruled a double.
That can't hurt Jake's cause at all.
No, he hit it well, but
yeah,
as you said, it looked as if he overplayed it. And now here's Altuve. The ball one down and into Jose. And just didn't judge the ball very well because he was reaching almost back and then down to the area of his ankles to try to catch that one, and it got by him. Altuve takes 2-0. Great chance for the Astros to get on that board right here with Altuve, one of their best run producers of the year, and he's doing everything else. Sitting .323 with men in scoring position. Ground ball to shortstop. Castro coming home. 5-1 ball game. Altuve gets his 27th RBI on out number 2.
Yeah, Jose drives in the run, and that's critical at all times, even when you're down 5-0. But he is such a good hitter that I think Jose believes that with this pitch, that should have been driven somewhere. Just rolls over the top of it.
Castro scores an unearned run. He reached on the error. George Springer, the batter, in the dirt for ball 1. Good play by Bobby Wilson. Well, if George comes through with a big 2-out delivery here, Marisnick could score. The Astros are down by 3, so that would give them much better standing in this game if Springer can deliver this key hit. One and one. The Astros batted with only 5 runners in scoring position in their previous 3 games. Now 2-1. Bouncer goes wide of third base for a 2-ball 2-strike count on George Springer. Springer's hitting .234 with men in scoring position. Now 3-2 with Correa on deck.
Hamels tries to come up and in with that fastball. Callable pitch. And it's one that has frozen George a number of times.
Hamels has won 125 and lost 91 in his career with a 3.31 career ERA. Last year he was 13-8 between the Phillies and the Rangers. Springer is, he gets the benefit of the call at first, and he did not swing. Jim Reynolds with a call that he checked his swing and drew the walk.
The acting course recently taken by Springer apparently pays off. That's close as you see the bat get right out there to the front of the plate, but Yeah, you're fortunate when you get that call. Now can you take advantage of the scenario?
Exactly. Carlos Correa would love to comply. Correa struck out in the first inning. Doug Brocail out for a quick visit.
Yeah, these scenarios have presented themselves to the Astros. They just haven't taken advantage. And you're down early in a ball game to Cole Hamels, who's won 11 consecutive decisions. Got to find a way to jump back in. One run, useful, but pile some more on.
Well, this could be really big if Correa could come through here. Try to get some momentum back, establish some offense against Hamels. Correa's hit .286 with men in scoring position. Strike one. Nice aggressive swing there on the first pitch.
Love to see it from Carlos. This team needs somebody, and really somebodies, to step up and be big run producers.
Yeah. 0-2.
Breaking ball coming down and in, and you just get to seeing enough from Cole Hamels again when he has that good fastball you have to respect. Over the top curveball change, he'll cut it.
Wilson's doing a good job behind the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That feels more like a slider right there, but always the talk about the curveball from Hamels. And maybe like Keuchel, he just mixes the blend with that pitch.
World Series MVP in 08 with the Phillies. And he was 15-5 in 07. He's been an all-star 3 times. Foul back, still 1-2.
Hope the fans saw what Hamels did right there. He always shows that spiked breaking ball look with the finger, the forefinger nail pointed into the ball. And so that's behind the back, always showing that. And then he went into the glove, changed to fastball, delivered the heat. There's that spike curveball break or look.
2-2 now. Correa works his way back into the count.
There you see the backside of it. That forefinger, though, spiked into the baseball, and then he gets into the glove and changes.
Now a full count. And with 2 outs in a 3-2 situation, the runners will be moving. Good speed at second with Marisnick, and at first with Springer. Evan Gattis is on deck. Hamels gets a punch out to end the threat. 1 run scoring on 1 hit with 1 error and 2 men left. 5-1 Rangers after 3.
5-1 as we go to the top of the fourth. 2016 Coca-Cola Astros Buddies memberships are on sale now for only $25. Buddies members receive a voucher for 4 tickets to a select Astros game, front-of-the-line access to Kids Run the Bases, executive player autograph sessions, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies for all the details and to purchase a membership for kids up to 12 years old. Back to you guys.
5-1 ball game. We go to the 4th inning. Dallas Keuchel with a shot into the left field corner past a sliding Marwin Gonzalez. And here is Ryan Rua headed for second base. Backed up by Tyler White as the throw is wide. Leadoff double here in the 4th.
Let's look at the pitch location. And that's not Dallas Keuchel. We fairly, I felt, depicted what he was doing well back in the first inning, but it has come unraveled.
And with that, looks like Chris Devenski is up in the bullpen again. Bobby Wilson, who drove in the first Ranger run with a double to left center field, comes around for the second time in this game. Keuchel had a 37 pitch 3rd inning. Runner taking off for 3rd. And not nearly in time. He had a big jump. Rua steals 3rd base. He's 3 for 3 this year.
He certainly took advantage of Dallas Keuchel, who's quick to the plate, but forgot about any thoughts of running from second base. You see how early that jump started.
Well, that's good base running. He took advantage of a situation there. The pitcher concentrating on the hitter. Infield in now. Pitchers are, of course, going to be more vulnerable in games like this.
Yes.
When they're giving up hits, they're just trying to focus on the pitch.
Look, you go back to the dugout, the pitching coach sidles up along with the catcher, and they're talking about what you can do to improve, and it's all running through your mind with what you have going on in your own thoughts, and you're not thinking about a man at second base. Not saying that that's okay, but that's what goes on.
So now all these extra holes in the infield and extra space between the infielders and the outfielders. It's 2-2, but the Astros down by 4 can ill afford to play that infield back in this situation. Just cannot allow any more runs to come in. (3-2).
You see all that talk about I need to be more aggressive and throw strikes. That's not what's going on right now for Dallas. This is loss of command that's coming up, and it's biting real hard.
The line shot, and that'll be an RBI single to make it 6-1. Wilson's 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in.
The 2 hits in the inning, pitches that are nowhere close to what Dallas wants. And you'll see as you watch this pitch, up, out, over the plate.
Alberto the batter. He struck out in the 3rd inning. Rangers now have outscored the Astros in their season series 26-13. Altuve with the flip. Correa the middleman. 4-6-3 double play. Fifth double play for the Astros this year.
Jose's been really good with that backhanded flip, and he can really extend the distance on that play.
Yeah, that's a long backhanded flip.
Carlos Correa has gotten stronger and stronger as the season has gone on defensively. That over the top throw is gifted at shortstop.
Ball 1 to Drew Stubbs, the former Cincinnati Red. We used to see a lot of him when the Astros and the Reds were both in the NL Central. First round pick in 06 from Texarkana, Texas. He went to high school in Atlanta, Texas, and then University of Texas. So he and Spike Owen could talk about their Longhorn days. 1-1. UT's having rough sledding this year in college baseball. Two balls, 1 strike to Drew Stubbs. who from Cincinnati moved along to Colorado in 2014. Back in 2010, he had 22 long balls for the Reds and 30 steals. Two-hopper Correa. He gets Stubbs, and 1-run scores on 2 hits. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning, 6-1 Rangers.
Of 1965, the Astrodome appears on the national TV scene for the first time. Willie Mays blasts a home run into the center field tunnel as the Giants beat the Astros 11-1. Chris Schenkel and Leo Durocher were the announcers for that game.
Leo Durocher did a game? Okay. Larry Dierker. We think Larry Dierker's back there, but a fan is engaging him in conversation. Evan Gattis, the batter, 1-0 the count. And he fouls it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gattis hit a fly ball to right field in the 2nd inning.
Was that part of Dierker's posse there?
Yeah, I think it was. There's Dirk. He's out on the patio today. Crack bad roller out to Alberto at 2nd. 1 out for Hamels. Colby Rasmus will follow.
Just a breaking ball that gets in on the hands. Shatters the bat.
Rasmus struck out in the 2nd inning. Astros have 1 hit through the first 3 1/3. A double by Marisnick. 6 hits for Texas. There's strike 1. Well, Tuesday night the Baltimore Orioles bring another tough opponent to Minute Maid Park. They're another first place club, currently 26-15 atop the AL East by 1 game on Boston rather. One ball, 1 strike. The Orioles have not yet announced their starters. We think it might be Chris Tillman Tuesday night. Doug Fister to pitch for the Astros at 7:10 Tuesday night after the off day tomorrow. Jeff Blum will be coming in to work that series. Julia Morales is coming back to work that series. 2 balls and a strike. You get a few days off before the next road trip. Where are you guys going on the trip, Ash?
Going on the trip out to the West Coast. If you're referring to that upcoming trip.
Yeah.
I think it starts in Anaheim, doesn't it?
It does start in Anaheim. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Anaheim, and then on to the natural rival Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate those guys?
How is it we're geographical rivals with Arizona? We still haven't figured that out.
I get angry when I think about playing that club.
Is that the closest city to other than Dallas to Houston? Might be. Kansas City closer?
Now you'd start swinging up Denver, Kansas City, St. Louis.
Okay. Well, we're not sure, but anyway, the powers that be have deemed us to be rivals with Arizona, so the two will play every year.
I'll bring my matches and see if I can light that fire.
Strikeout number 6 for Hamels. That'll be 2 games in Arizona, followed by 2 games here with Arizona.
Yeah, that's right. 4 back-to-back. I think we did that with the Rockies last year as we see Colby Rasmus unable to get to that fastball down and away from Cole Hamels. He is just breezing in the early goings here.
Yes, he is. Got the early run support. 5 in the 3rd inning. Another run in the 4th. He gave up an unearned run in the Astros 3rd on the Altuve ground out. Now it's Tyler White. White hit a grounder to short earlier. Clocks that one. What a play by Elvis Andrus. To end the 4th inning. We go to the 5th with the score 6-1 Texas. On Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa home run to Houston Children's Charity. 6-1, the Rangers lead the Astros after 4. We go to the 5th inning, and it's Ian Desmond to lead it off. He had an RBI single in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Dallas Keuchel throwing and getting strike 1. He was in a very crisp, nice type of rhythm, getting the first 6 Ranger hitters, and then things started to turn the other way when he hit Ryan Rua with an 0-2 pitch leading off the 3rd inning. The Rangers batted around, scoring 5 runs on 4 hits in that frame. Now he seems to be back in that earlier groove, 0-2, as he hit his spots on Desmond, first 2. And the appeal went to first. He checked his swing. It's 1-2.
Comes that sweeping slider down and in. The bat is dangerously close to being a swing.
Liner goes foul into the seats. 10,000 children here today will get a gift when they leave the ballpark, a play ball bat and ball set courtesy of Chevrolet as a part of the Major League Baseball Play Ball Initiative, which is providing free tickets to about 200 athletes from the Astros Community Leaders Program today as well. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Now that slider actually is a strikeout slider, the one he buries in the dirt. It's the ones that stay up through the plate that alarm me.
Three and two, yeah. Location is such an important part of everything that Dallas Keuchel does. White with a play, retiring Desmond.
Tyler looks so much more confident, comfortable at first base defensively than early on in the season.
He does. Learned that position pretty quickly, actually. Prince Fielder struck out his first time up, then he walked and scored in that big third inning. Jammed on that one. He gets underneath it. Here comes the center fielder, Marisnick. Correa calling. Correa. 2 down.
There's that pitch I've been suggesting might be successful against Prince Fielder. This time up and in, and he just fought it, got tied up. And this has kind of been the look that Prince Fielder has been providing in the early goings this year. When you see the batting average at or just below 200, you know something's not right, and he's really struggled in.
Adrian Beltre with a 2-run double to left center field. Had one of the big third inning hits. Altuve to his right. Strange game for Dallas Keuchel. Another 1-2-3 inning. Looking like the first and second innings. 6-1 Texas.
On top of the Astros, Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Talk about home runs. How about lifetime for the Astros against the Texas Rangers franchise? Over history, Lance Berkman is the king, 11 of them. Chris Carter with 9. And then you've got Jason Castro along with Craig Biggio and Morgan Ensberg with 7. Castro coming up this inning, so we'll take a peek at that. But Lance Berkman with 11 to lead the club against Texas.
Castro on deck. Marwin Gonzalez leading it off. 6-1 Texas. Tap foul, strike one. Marwin struck out in the third inning. Cole Hamels this season is throwing his fastball 43% of the time. That was really an unusual game last night for Cesar Ramos, the lefty starter for Texas. He threw 79 pitches, and we were told only 16 of those were fastballs.
That is unusual. It makes me wonder, Brownie, what the book might say right now against Astros hitters. Does the breaking ball, the off speed, factor in as a big out pitch?
Well, after watching that game last night, other teams would certainly think that it would. Hamels is kind of pitching backwards today in terms of saving that fastball for late in the count, Ash.
This is the changeup here on the 1-1. See how Hand really exceeded the speed of the baseball under the knees, but a strike called. You start putting a lot of pitches on the edges in the zone and you'll get some other calls. Or when you're hot, and I guess winning 11 straight for Hamels qualifies as hot.
It should. Jake Arrieta has the longer winning streak, currently alive in the big leagues. In the air, and here's the third baseman, Beltre. Nope, they won't get to it. Rangers have won 16 of Hamels' last 18 regular season starts.
Yeah, he took a no decision the first game he came to the Rangers after the trade deadline deal last year, then lost his next start. From then on, he has not lost.
Jake Arrieta has a 19-game active winning streak.
It's hard to compare eras, but I wonder, is Jake Arrieta today's Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, somebody who just goes out there and wins?
Well, he's showing every sign of it.
Marwin and Cole Hamels are not getting along with their timing schemes right now.
You know, and as part of a winning streak that long, you would imagine there have been some breaks along the way. That certainly has been the case with Hamels as well. And there have been a few times when he has been trailing and left the game, and they've rallied to get him off the hook on what could have been losses.
Not sure how many breaks were needed by Jake Arrieta.
No. That's strikeout number 7.
By the way, there's that changeup again, and too many people underplay the changeup, but it is just an enormous part of what Cole Hamels does.
One down, and here's Jason Castro, reached on the error by the second baseman Alberto. Yeah, this season Hamels has left 3 times in a position to lose, but Texas has come back. Strike to Castro. No doubt the Rangers have had the Astros number, winning 15 of the last 17 games from Houston. Oh, and 2.
It's a big bending breaking ball against the left-hand hitter.
Last year the Rangers won the season series from the Astros 13-6. They play again June 6th in Texas. Castro's down on strikes. Number 7, number 8 now. And Jake Marisnick will follow.
Hamels goes right back to the breaking ball, buries it in the dirt. And apparently that frustration has gotten to the point where Jason Castro and maybe others are not even heading on down to first base.
No, he did not head for first. Marisnick has the only Houston hit. That was a line drive double misplayed by Ian Desmond. That came on an 0-2 pitch. There's ball 1. Maybe that'll get Jake started. He's had a rough start this season. Felt that at the end of his minor league stint he was swinging the bat better. There's a liner foul. Jose Altuve's on deck. Off the foot of Marisnick. It went out to Beltre at third. 1-2.
Breaking ball. Sweeping in. Never got down, but and that just puts a hurt in your game when you hit it on the foot or the shin.
Marisnick takes. That evens the count at 2-2. Full count now to Jake.
Yeah, that
Walked one time.
change up, Brownie, pardon me, is starting to factor in more and more on a strikeout opportunity.
Good crowd for a Sunday here. Well, the Astros have been in this stretch for a while, playing first place clubs. They're in a streak of 6 consecutive opponents with winning records. White Sox were in first. The Rangers are game and a half out. The Orioles up next are in first right now. They played Seattle, the first place club, Cleveland, Boston, White Sox, and Texas so far on this stretch. And they're 7-9 so far in that stretch. Well, that one was inside. Had a 3-2 count. Yeah, it should have been ball 4, but we're wondering why he hasn't headed for first base.
I think A.J. Hinch is going to argue that point.
Yeah, it was a 3-2 pitch. It was down and in for ball 4. Well, let's see what Field and Culber says. Yeah, he finally.
He just pointed to himself saying, I'll be in charge here.
Well, then go ahead and call a ball 4 if you're going to be in charge.
And now, since I'm in charge, I agree with you. That was ball 4.
Okay, good. Second walk of the game for Hamels. Yeah, he's laughing about it. Yeah, okay, go ahead and take your base since we all know it was ball 4.
And now Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. Jose Altuve at the plate. That's pretty easy. Just about every category going. Most hits since 2015. 258 of them. Leading a very fine young shortstop, Xander Bogaerts.
Andrus with the toss. And they get the force on Marisnick from 6-4. After 5, it's 6-1 Texas.
And it's time to reveal the results of our Chevy Stroh poll. And with 62%, the winner is Bobby Dynamite in the Train. We did have one notable write-in response, guys, and it's Tal's Hill. And I mean, I'd say it's pretty unique that there's a hill in center field.
Yeah, I'll chime in there. I love Tal's Hill. I know it may not be long for this ballpark's world, but I think it's a great feature out there. A lot of people will disagree. That's fine.
You need to go get up there with Bobby Dynamite.
I know, maybe so.
Dallas Keuchel deals to Nomar Mazara. It's ball one.
Well, how many home runs has Bobby Dynamite robbed in this ballpark?
Oh, at least 4 or 5. He can move that train and knock him back in play. 2 balls and no strikes.
See, now my Hill out there has played some great defense.
Is Bobby texting while driving?
Uh-oh.
That is against the law, my friend. Tyler White, good play. Tossing Dallas Keuchel 1 out. Bobby knows better than that.
And Tyler White, like you were talking about earlier, just getting better over there at first base. You know, he's been fine on those feeds onto the pitchers heading to the bag.
Yeah, he's solid. First couple of weeks, it appeared to be a learning situation. 10 ground ball outs for Keuchel. Andrus is 0 for 2. Crack bat past a diving Correa for a hit into center field. Andrus is aboard. That takes his hitting streak to 8 games.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat. Good pitch from Dallas. Good pitches sometimes result in base hits, and this one does.
Hit number 7 for the Rangers. Ryan Rua began that rally when all 9 Rangers batted in the 3rd inning. He was hit by an 0-2 pitch on the foot. Came around to score. Then in the 4th, he doubled to left, stole 3rd, and came in again. Strike 1 to Rua.
Now, people can say all they want about throw strike 1. That's the most important. That strike 1 was in a very hittable zone. And though it's taken for a strike, if swung at it, it potentially results in some serious damage.
That's in for a strike. 0-2. Castro came up with it, blocked it out in front anyway. The runner goes back to first with a count 1-2.
Well, there's got to be so much racing through Dallas Keuchel's head.
Runner takes off early, and there's a ground ball right behind him. Altuve went to cover. It's a single into center field. Amazing. Rule with a hit. Andrus took off early. Altuve went to the bag to cover, and then Rua on a 1-2 pitch got the ground ball single.
Yeah, like you're saying, a lot going on right there, but this is old-time classic hit and run baseball with batter hitting behind runner. And why more guys don't do this with shifts these days, I don't know. But boy, that's just losing focus for Dallas Keuchel. Complete loss of focus about anything going on outside of the hitter.
Some kind of a jump for Andrus, who goes to 3rd on the single. Now it's Wilson batting. Wilson's 2 for 2 with 2 runs batted in. Looking out at the Astros bullpen now. Nobody throwing at the moment. There's a strike. Chris Davinsky is up out there. We haven't seen him throwing a pitch. It's like maybe Pat Neshek is now starting to throw. Off the plate. Yeah, there's Neshek. Davinsky had been throwing earlier in this game. Wilson falls behind 1-2 in the count. Jackie Bradley Jr. got another hit today. 27 game hitting streak for the Boston center fielder.
Look out, Joe.
I think Joe's brother Dom DiMaggio had a long hitting streak for Boston.
Like 27, 28,
Yeah,
maybe 33.
That was their record. Struck him out. 5 strikeouts for Keuchel.
Good breaking ball down under the knees.
Alberto is next. He is struck out and grounded into a double play. Yu Darvish may be back for the Rangers by next Saturday against the Pirates at home.
If he's fully healthy and able to pitch like the Yu Darvish of old, that certainly is quite a boost for this Rangers club.
He's scheduled to make his 5th start on injury rehab today at a home game for Frisco against San Antonio this afternoon. In the hole and on through into left for an RBI single. And it's 7-1. Alberto gets his 3rd run batted in. He got it through that expansive hole between 3rd and short that time. A ball not hit all that well.
Yeah, that's just your standard ground ball, but finding the hole.
3 singles in the inning for the Rangers now. A total of 9 hits in the game for them. And Stubbs is the batter. Stubbs is 0 for 3. There's strike 1 for Keuchel. The 6th batter of the inning. Dom DiMaggio had a 34-game hitting streak in 1949 for Boston.
If you were a DiMaggio, you just simply did things in streaks, huh?
Isn't that amazing? Joe had a 56-gamer. His brother had a 34-gamer. Springer over toward the right field line, makes the catch on the run. 1 run scoring on 3 hits with 2 men left. 7-1 Texas. Texas with a 7-1 lead over Houston. Rangers 5 games above 500. Put together the big 5-run 3rd inning with 9 men coming to the plate. Dallas Keuchel has been victimized by that inning. Altuve with the RBI on the ground out in the 3rd inning for the only Houston run. The Astros have only 1 hit. Cole Hamels takes the 6-run lead to the bottom of the 6th inning with George Springer leading it off. Springer struck out in the 1st. He walked in the 3rd. Ball 1 from Hamels, trying for his 5th win of the season.
If somehow this game goes on with the Rangers not allowing another hit, that 1 hit will come in question.
Well, it really will. 1-1. Marisnick's double in the 3rd inning could have been caught by Ian Desmond. Desmond, a converted shortstop, just didn't judge the ball very well and made a good effort to get it. Two balls and a strike.
He's played well too for Texas.
He sure has.
And aggressively went after that ball. But as we watched on the replay, he was a little deep on it and passed the ball.
Now 3-1 for Hamels. Hamels has walked 21 this year, 54 innings. Springer with a big cut, fouls it. The Astros lead the league in walks. Boston 4, Cleveland 2. They're in the top of the 6th inning at Fenway. Bradley 1 for 2 in that game. Now hitting .344. He was batting at the bottom of the lineup a few days ago. He's been moved up. Struck him out looking. It's 9 punch outs.
We mentioned it the previous at bat for George, that inner area up and in has been tough on him this year, and you see some of that ball finds the strike zone. That's all that's required.
That's 49 strikeouts for George and 176 at bats. Carlos Correa is 0 for 2. He also has 49 punch outs. That's ball 1. So the Astros now continue to strike out more than any other team in the American League. And a total of 9 today for Hamels so far. Bouncer third for Beltre. 2 outs. Let's go to Brendan.
Baseball fans, the 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to astros.com/vote to choose the players you want to see at the All-Star Game on July 12th in San Diego. Vote today, vote tomorrow. Vote at astros.com/vote. And I got a feeling, guys, there's going to be a lot of people in this city and all around the country voting for Mr. Altuve.
He's automatic, isn't he? But do vote.
Yeah, that's the thing. He is as deserving as anybody.
Evan Gattis takes ball 1. He's 0 for 2 because if you don't vote, yeah, that's. Let's say that it's a different kind of democracy in baseball all-star voting. Yeah, he might be taken for granted and he might not make it. 1 ball, 1 strike. There is some serious competition at that position.
Ian Kinsler has played well this year, Brownie.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, there's always Dustin Pedroia.
Robinson Cano.
Oh, yeah, Cano. Absolutely. You're right. Cano's going to get a big turnout, one would think, with his numbers. 2-1. So it is anything but automatic, but Jose certainly deserving. He continues to be the leader in wins above replacement. If you're voting based on that, at 3.2, he leads all major league players in WAR. Gattis with a deep drive, left center field, and Gattis has banged one way up and out of play for home run number 4. 7-2 ball game.
Talked about sometimes good pitches get hit. I think that Evan Gattis just hit what Cole Hamels thinks was probably a reasonably good pitch. But Evan Gattis is a strong young man. Let's see where this pitch actually is. Maybe outside edge, maybe above the knees. It's turning it around pretty effectively.
He's been on base in all 6 of his games since he returned from Corpus Christi. Now 7-2 ball game. Colby Rasmus, who struck out twice, takes ball 1. Well, actually, that's now a 13-game hitting streak if you count the time at Corpus Christi for Evan Gattis. That's a shot out into center field and a hit. Back-to-back hits for the Astros as Rasmus takes his hitting streak to 8 games.
Ball had some hang time, and so does this one. Reaching out, getting it. Reach out and touch someone. It's up there pretty good, Brownie.
Oh, yeah. That's just showing his strength. How he can drive a pitch like that. Tyler White is grounded out both times to shortstop. Strike for Hamels. Ranger pitching has really stopped the Astros in this 3-game series. Colby Lewis 7 shutout innings Friday night. Ramos 6 innings, 1-run baseball last night. And the bullpen has been in alignment for Jeff Bannister in this series. 4 balls, 2 strikes. He brought in the power arms after Ramos left last night. Matt Bush for an inning, Jake Diekman for an inning, Sam Dyson for an inning to close out the 2-1 win. Beltre gets the force out to Alberto. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left for the Astros. It's 7-2 Rangers after 6.
And it's time for Name That Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. This former Astro was born in South Bend but raised in Puerto Rico. He's a 1983 All-Star, and his son was drafted by Toronto in 2010. What do you guys think? Any guesses on this one?
Yes. Are we allowed to? We can't spill the beans on this. No, we're not allowed to guess right now, Brendan. We very seldom even have a guess, but we think we might have one now. And we're told to put some cold water on it. Pat Neshek is 1-0 with a 2.84 ERA, Ash.
And part of that 2.84 ERA, which is good, is only 6.5 hits allowed per 9 innings on the year, so he's been quite effective in that regard.
First pitch is strike 1. Dallas Keuchel out of the game after 6 innings, allowing 9 hits, 7 runs, walking 1, fanning 5, hitting a batter. He had not hit a batter all year, and that's what began the 5-run rally in the 3rd inning on an 0-2 pitch to Ryan Rua. So Neshek, who has that fine ERA, as you saw for the month, coming in after Keuchel threw 93 pitches, 62 of them were strikes.
By the way, I need to clean that up. 6.5 hits per 9 innings on Neshek's career. This year, 3.6 hits per 9 innings, so extremely effective.
This is the 18th appearance for him. Ken Giles leads the club with 21, and he gets a punch out on Desmond.
A little more dominance displayed right here. You wouldn't regard him as a strikeout pitcher by any stretch, but the numbers are undeniable this year.
Pitched a perfect 10th inning against the White Sox and got his first win of the season Tuesday night. Facing Fielder now. Fielder 0 for 2 with a walk. The Astros have some hot hands in this bullpen now. Ken Giles, Pat Neshek, two of them. And Scott Feldman has been excellent as well. 7 outings in May, all scoreless for Neshek, dealing only 1 hit and 1 walk. He's inherited 11 and only allowed 4 to score this season. 2 balls, no strikes on Fielder. How about Michael Feliz for a hot hand out of that bullpen?
It's not just hot, he looks really good.
Ooh. That one almost hit him on the right elbow, but Fielder moved back, and it's 3-0 on Fielder now. So it appeared that he was trying to do what you had suggested early in the game, and that was move a pitch in tight on him.
Bust hard in and see what he does. In the previous at bat, he was busted in and just kind of fought one off, a little lazy fly ball.
3-1. Will Harris is about as hot as they get too in the Astros bullpen right now. Adrian Beltre on deck. Out to left center field. Marisnik way back. That one bangs off the bullpen wall, drops down. He barehands it, fires in towards second, and the throw's offline. Otherwise they get him. Double for Fielder.
Yeah, this falls in that however category. When you pitch him out over the plate, he'll still get the barrel to it and drive it the other way. Watch where the pitch is and running out there. That's right in the wheelhouse now for Prince Fielder. And he really doesn't like to slide.
That's hit number 10 for the Rangers. Beltre next. Ball 1 to Beltre, who drove in 2 with a double in the 3rd inning. He's 1 for 3. Astros bullpen ERA is down to 3.74, and it has come down quite a bit these last few weeks. 2 balls, no strikes. It's 2-1 to Beltre. Beltre's hit .386 with runners in scoring position. The Rangers as a team have hit .300. Two and two. Altuve gets it over to White. 2 outs, Fielder to third base.
Want to get a special gift for the Astros fan in your life? The Houston Astros commemorative brick paver program gives you the opportunity to have your special message become a permanent part of Minute Maid Park. Your message will welcome hundreds of Astros fans that enter the ballpark. Visit astros.com/bricks for more details.
Now meeting at the mound, Castro and Neshek before Mazara bats. Mazara's 1 for 3, an RBI single. Elvis Andrus is on deck. Let's see what the breakdown is for Neshek on left-handed hitters, as he has a right-handed hitter in the on-deck circle. So left-handed hitters only 200 against Pat this season. In for strike 1. During his daily media briefing, manager A.J. Hinch fielded some questions about this situation with the Astros falling on hard times, now 10 games under 500, and he says there's urgency every day. There's no more urgency today than there was yesterday. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Which means it was at level 10 yesterday, and you just can't get any higher.
Right.
The work is being put in, but the results are not there.
Fouled away, and it's 1-2.
Look, ultimately you win because the pitching combined with your hitting on any given night says you score more runs than the opposition, and the hitting just hasn't been contributing here recently at all.
No, it hasn't. He talked about 90 feet, needing to do little things better, pick up 90 feet when batting, and protect 90 feet when in the field.
Here's that super change, just flipping it up there. A lot of running motion.
Didn't see the clocking on that one, but he can get down below 70. Yeah, 66 on that one. That's about where he will throw that pitch quite often. All smacked in the air, and George Springer watches it go foul. Now, left-handed hitters do get a better look at Pat Neshek with his style of delivery.
Ball boys beware of line drives that are close to the chalk.
Yeah. Do not venture outside your normal range.
In fact, range is your enemy.
Do we have any StatCast figures on ball boys range?
Oh, I'm sure they're out there. I just have not looked at the right column.
Foul back.
We learned about GWAR the other day, G-W-A-R.
What is that again?
Well, that was some kind of a band that you used to listen to in your younger days.
Don't recall that, but then that wouldn't put it in any special category. 77 balls have been used in this game, Ash. 77 baseballs.
I am enthralled. We gave out some information recently that maybe 65 to 85 balls a game was average, but we're learning that maybe we undersold that one.
Well, we've been guilty of much misinformation down through the years, so we'll just lump it into that same category.
Are you saying don't change our ways?
No. Don't ever change. But we do have these questions about, we've been getting a lot of questions about how many baseballs are used in a game, right? That one might not be used again. That's hit out to the bullpen, and that one is gone. 2-run homer for Mazara, number 6 of the season. And the Rangers just keep doing it. It's 9-2 Texas now.
It's a good-looking young player for the Rangers, but that's just not location A. It's also really getting through the baseball. Did you see his body just all the way through the ball?
He waited for it, too. First home run of the day for the Rangers. And Mazara hits his 6th. He's probably not going back to the minor leagues.
Yeah, I think he's establishing himself.
Andrus is 1 for 3 as a 1-1 count. That's the 4th home run surrendered by Neshek in 13+ innings. Chris Davinsky warming up again. Rangers have hit 44 home runs this season. They are 9th in the American League.
Yeah, they're not that big home run hitting team.
And a punch out ends it in the top of the 7th inning. 9-2 Texas.
transmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros, LLC.
It's a 9-2 Rangers lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Let's take a look now at the Kubota pitching performance. This is by Cole Hamels, who again comes in a winner of 11 straight decisions, and he's been very good on his day. He'll continue here in the 7th inning, but he's had the fastball working, spotting it well up in the zone for strikeouts. The change has been a big part of things, bending that breaking ball all over the place, and that fastball catches the inside edge on Springer. And you can see he's pleased with the way things are going, and rightly so.
Oh, Cole Hamels now as he gets set for the bottom of the 7th inning, coasting. He'd give up the Gaddis home run, but he was backed by that 5-run third, and that allows the pitcher to settle in. He's trying to settle in and win for the 5th time this season as the Rangers go for a sweep of this 3-game series. Tony Barnett is warming up in the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. Home run pump rang up one for Evan Gaddis in the 6th inning, his 4th of the year. Marwin Gonzalez will lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th.
Got some Rockies fans on board here, and Astros fans, of course.
Okay.
Just keep those baseball fans coming, though. We'll convert you.
Speaking of Rockies, what's your reading on where they go with Jose Reyes now when he's ready to play again?
Yeah, that's, well, Trevor Story has been the story for the Rockies this year, so I don't know that Reyes steps in and moves that fella.
Marwin is 0 for 2 with 2 punch-outs. Hamels has struck out 9 in his 6 innings of work. Andrus, 1 pitch, 1 out in the home 7th for Hamels.
Let me amend. Nolan Arenado, the young third baseman, has been fantastic once again. He's proving himself to be one of the game's elite players.
Sure is. Jason Castro is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error and scored a run. The run Hamels allowed in the 3rd inning unearned, so he's given up 1 earned run so far. His ERA was 3.10 when this game started. Ground ball hit through the left side. That one beat the shift. Castro's 1 for 3.
Well, Jason's been finding a way to get some knocks, and if you're going to shift, my book says don't pitch a left-hand hitter, for example, away and enable him to find some gaps in the shift on the left side.
Makes sense. Jake Marisnick has a double and a walk in this game. Jose Altuve out to the on-deck circle. Marisnick takes it for ball 1. Phillies lead the Braves 5-0 there in the top of the 9th at Philadelphia. Jared Eichhoff started for the Phils. He went 7 innings. Fouled away, and Cameron Rupp hit a home run, his 2nd. Astros AA Corpus Christi club had its club record winning streak snapped at 11 last night, losing 3-1 at Midland. Been quite a run. 1-2. Their previous record was 10, set back in 07. Marisnick takes it, and it's a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Alex Bregman played third base again last night, and he was 2 for 4 for Corpus.
Yeah, that gets interesting to watch where he plays defensively on any given night.
Yeah, he's played 3 times at third base now. That's strikeout number 10 for Hamels. We go to Brendan.
Thanks, guys. It's time to name that Astro. Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Again, the hints were born in South Bend, raised in Puerto Rico. He was a 1983 All-Star, and his son was drafted by Toronto in 2010. It's Dickie Thon.
Former teammate.
Strike to Jose Altuve. Congratulations to all of you who got that. What do they win, Ash?
They won a trip to Puerto Rico. We don't know the date of that trip, but we'll get it out.
One ball and one strike. Altuve 0 for 3 with the ground out, giving him his 27th run batted in. Have you been to Puerto Rico?
Only with, you may recall, the Astros went in there one spring.
Yeah.
And had a couple of games, I believe. Great place.
Liner to left. And what a catch by Mazara. To end the 7th inning, robbing Jose Altuve. Nomar Mazara has 2 hits, 3 runs batted in, a homer, and a great catch. Ball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota, let's go places. 9-2, the Rangers lead it. Springer steals a kiss there in the upper deck. And Chris Davinsky comes in. Davinsky, pitcher number 3 for the Astros. Has proved to be effective both as a starter and a reliever. Even though he hasn't won a game, he has pitched well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And he's not back in the bullpen because he failed as a starter, just because the need to find out who's going to fit where in this on the pitching staff. But he's been good, and he's got a great changeup. Maybe some belief he needs to tailor it down a little bit.
Ryan Rua backs away from ball 1 in tight. Rua has 2 hits, and he was hit by a pitch. Big day for Ryan. 2-run score, a stolen base. I like the way Davinsky came inside on his first pitch, though. 1-1.
And his fastball runs that way naturally, so he can almost start to the center of the plate and let that thing beat on into the inside edge.
35,035 the paid attendance. 2 balls and a strike. Nice Sunday crowd here. Tomorrow a day off for the Astros, and then it's the Baltimore Orioles Tuesday night at 7:10. Doug Fister against, we think, Chris Tillman. Here's the left fielder Rasmus moving in for it. 1 down for Davinsky. Pat Neshek in 1 inning allowed 2 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. There we have Tillman, 6-1 with a 2.61 ERA, and Pfister, who's had, I believe, 6 straight quality starts. Tyler Wilson and Colin McHugh, Mike Wright, and Lance McCullers.
Yeah, the recent outings for Pfister, McHugh, and McCullers really good. Colin McHugh brilliant that last start in a loss.
Yes, very good. Bobby Wilson takes, and there's ball 1. Yeah, 6 straight quality starts for Pfister.
This curveball was really a launch job, but it broke so much that it really got back to the zone.
Popped up Altuve's way. 2 outs.
Yeah, you watch Altuve make the play on the routine pop fly. What a line shot he hit for another out here in his most recent at bat, and heck of a play in left field by Mazara. But it's phenomenal the number of times Altuve puts the ball right on the barrel.
Sure is. Kevin Allen gets us a good shot from left field to Crawford boxes. Alberto the batter, he's 1 for 3. And now the right fielder Springer comes in. Davinsky needs only 7 pitches to get 3 outs in the 8th. 9-2. Over Houston, we promised earlier in the game, and it's time for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite, showing you Evan Gattis on a 2-1 pitch in the 6th inning from Cole Hamels.
Down and away, and yet Barrow all over baseball. He's the guy that led the club in home runs and RBIs a year ago. They need that bat to heat up. They need a lot of bats to heat up.
George Springer comes up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Springer 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Astros. Cole Hamels coming back out 100 pitches into the game and getting strike 1. So for the 3rd straight in this series and 4th straight game overall, the Astros just have struggled so much to score runs. They lost 2-1 Thursday in Chicago, 2-1 Friday and Saturday here, and now they have 2 runs as they go to the bottom of the 8th here. No balls, 2 strikes. Phillies beat the Braves 5-0. Jared Eichhoff going to 2-6 with 7 shutout frames. Phillies are now 25-19.
You can't tell me anybody would have guessed that to be a possibility.
Well, I can't think of anybody who did. 1 and 2, you're right. So with that NL East, Washington in 1st, New York in 2nd, Philadelphia in 3rd. That is a surprise to many. And Miami's above 500 in 4th place. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The recent struggles with the bats for the Astros have them dead last in the American League in team batting average.
3-2. What do you suggest for this team offensively?
Yeah, that's really hard. They've been good in some categories that a lot of people really like. They've drawn a lot of walks this year. In fact, they've been the leader much of the season. They may still be today. Let's see, they are leading in walks, but the walks are not translating because the bats have not been there to drive in the runs.
Springer's down on strikes. 11 punch outs for Hamels.
I do believe in the guys that are in RBI slots as we watch the strikeout of Springer, understanding this notion that they're in that spot in the order to drive in runs, not to draw more walks necessarily. And so for me, it's swing first.
Correa's 0 for 3. Mariners beat the Reds 5-4 in Cincinnati. Strike one. Wade Miley going to 5-4, beating Alfredo Simon. Steve Cishek got his 12th save. So first place Seattle with win number 26 already achieved today. Out to left field, Mazzara. 2 down.
Yeah, even sharply hit balls right now are not falling for hits. So it's tough and it's frustrating. And it is a 10. And if you can push 10 upward, do it on that concern scale.
Evan Gattis ripped the homer in the 6th. He's 1 for 3. 4 Houston hits in the game off Cole Hamels. He pounds it in for strike one. So the Astros, if they lose, would be 17-28. They would be 10 games behind first place Seattle. Ripped, and there's a glove job by Beltre. And it gets by the first baseman Rua. And here's Gattis heading for second. Now he reverses field, goes back to first. The catcher was there, but no throw from Rua. Sparkling glove work by Beltre, but then the throw was wide, and it's ruled a hit. Rua was trying to stretch and make the play.
Adrian Beltre has been playing a great third base, and you can underline great. He's played that well defensively. But they almost got another heck of a play here by Bobby Wilson as this ball goes on by first base. Wilson covering at the bag at first, and I'm not so sure an alert throw by Rua on to first base might not have resulted in another out.
Yeah.
Right about here.
Might have. He didn't throw it. Gattis aboard. He's 2 for 4 now. Colby Rasmus the batter. Colby's 1 for 3. That's strike one. Coming into this game, the Astros were 8th in runs scored in the American League. There's a play by Rua for out number 3. No runs, a hit, and a man left. We move to the 9th. 9-2 Texas.
The Astros. Our delivery of the game is delivered to you by Jimmy Johns. Chris Davinsky came in and had a 1-2-3 7-pitch inning in the 8th, and just pumping strikes. Good stuff, creating outs. That's the way you love to see it. Davinsky continues to perform well out of the bullpen or as a starter.
Now Tony Sipp comes in for the 9th inning. He's 0-2 with 1 save, a 4.11 ERA.
Very interesting set of stats there with the left-hand hitters hitting .303, the righties just .192.
Drew Stubbs to lead it off. Stubbs is 0 for 4. Davinsky at a 1-2-3-8. Sipp delivers, and there's ball 1. Desmond and Fielder to follow in the Ranger 9th. Tigers beat the Rays 9-4. Jordan Zimmerman going to 7-2. Chris Archer lost it. He's 3-5. Liner into left. A hit for Stubbs.
Playing to Win is brought to you by Toyota Tundra. Go back to the 3rd inning for the Texas Rangers as they now lead 9-2. Part of the reason is a 5-run 3rd inning as they sent 9 to the plate against Dallas Keuchel. And that's the inning that saw Dallas start to leave pitches up and the Rangers start to hit pitches hard. Dallas recovered a bit after that, but just another tough afternoon.
Ian Desmond with strike 1 is 1 for 4, an RBI single. Every Ranger starter has at least 1 hit now, a total of 12. Bouncer into right field. Stubbs is going to 3rd. Now he's going to reverse and get back, and he is going to be out. Springer to Correa.
Well, it comes on another base hit for the Texas Rangers, and another one where it just looks like they're taking advantage of a gap in the infield. But George Springer, who didn't really charge hard, didn't really cut loose one of his big-time throws, and yet put it on the money in the right spot. Really Correa being the alert guy here.
Sure was. Fielder the batter. There's ball 1 to him. Springer picks up his 5th outfield assist. Well, some of the people who go down to the media session with A.J. Hinch before the game got a real interesting look at shifting today. There's that big cut by Fielder.
By the way, that pitch away, but from the left-hander Tony Sipp. Very different look for the left-hand hitter Prince Fielder in terms of what we were talking about earlier.
Altuve, Correa, and White turn 2. No runs, 2 hits. We go to the bottom of the 9th, 9-2 Rangers.
As we head to the bottom of the ninth, MLB TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Up to you guys with the new pitcher for the Rangers.
Thank you, sir. It's going to be Barnett. Tony Barnett taking over. We have Mitch Moreland at first base as well. Tony Barnett in 17 games, 3-2 in 16 1/3 innings with a 2.76 ERA after pitching in Japan the last few years.
Yeah, he's a 32-year-old rookie in the major leagues. Just his 18th appearance and trying to finish out his 5th game of the year.
He's pitched twice against the Astros in that series in Texas. Gave up 2 runs on a Colby Rasmus homer. And one of the games got a hold in a Texas win, and the other, Cole Hamels, could have a 12-game winning streak. He's out of the game after 8 innings, allowing 5 hits and 2 runs, one of them earned, walking 2, fanning 11, throwing 112 pitches, 75 strikes. Colin Moran comes up as a pinch hitter for Tyler White, leading it off, trying for his first major league hit here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Moran is 0 for 6 as a big leaguer. He's drawn a walk. He's struck out once. And his foul pop is back out of play. Strike 1. White was 0 for 3. Cole Hamels could have that 12-game winning streak to take into his next start. Second longest active in the big leagues right now, behind Jake Arrieta's 19 straight wins for the Cubs. In tight to Colin Moran. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Colin will probably be in that starting lineup in some of the upcoming games, with the Orioles starting in that Tuesday night opener of the series. In for a strike to him, and it's 1-2. Moran has made a couple of starts at third base.
His pitch looked like it was low. When you're going rough, the rough times continue.
Moran hit .288 at Fresno with 3 homers. Pretty good cut there. Keeps him at 1-2 in the count.
You know, also part of tough streaks is you don't do anything with a pitch that you've got to handle. And there's a pitch to hit.
Made an impression this spring, hitting .349 with 3 homers. Strikeout for out number 1, 12th punch out for Ranger pitching. And we get Luis Valbuena next.
Colin Moran hasn't shown yet that he's going to hit for a lot of power, but he's been steady in the minor leagues and was good in the spring. But this swing looped under the baseball and never caught back up.
Now Valbuena pinch hitting for Marwin Gonzalez with a .198 average, has 2 homers, 10 runs batted in. He's had 116 at bats. He's 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Valbuena rips a line drive, right field line, foul.
And then when you hit balls hard, we saw last inning some balls hit sharply for outs. This one goes just foul.
Valbuena's 0 for 2 in this series. He started the Friday night game against right-hander Colby Lewis. Miguel Cabrera hit his 9th home run of the year today for Detroit in its win over Tampa Bay. Victor Martinez added his 6th. Miggy's gotten hot in recent days. Now hitting .315. 1-1 to Valbuena.
It's a considerable climb for Miggy.
Yeah. Toronto's on top of Minnesota 3-1. They're in the bottom of the 8th inning now. Blue Jays are in the basement in the AL East. 3 games under 500. That's deep to right field. And Nomar Mazara has shifted over to right. 2 outs.
.93 baseballs used in the game so far. So, yeah, I wonder how this compares to the typical game. We'll make sure that Phil Boudreau counts baseballs for every game the remainder of the season.
Yeah,
we'll get
he
that
loves
to you.
doing that. Loves doing that.
He just
He's looking at you with
just
a
threw
strange
us the thumbs up is what I saw there, Brownie.
Is that what you saw?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't see a thumb, but whatever you say.
Oh, that was a thumb, all right.
Okay. Castro's 1 for 3. That's in tight for ball 1. By the way, Ryan Rua has moved from first base to left field with Stubbs leaving the game and Mazara moving from left to right and Moreland in at first. We have to get all the players set before our final out of this game. Castro hoping not. It's in tight.
You can certainly see that Japanese influence in the delivery of Barnett.
Yes. Yeah, with that extra little kick. Got a double kick there, Ash.
He's got an Ishikawa in the middle of his delivery.
2 balls and a strike. Tony Barnett had been drafted by Arizona in the 10th round in 06. And he was released in 2010, went to Japan at that point. So 6 years in Japan, and last year he struck out 56 in 62 innings there for the Yakult club in 59 appearances. There are some stories about the way the Rangers are going through their relievers this year. It's a very quick pace of relievers used. 3 balls and a strike with Tony Kemp on deck. Jake Marisnick scheduled up next.
You know, managers used to get really talked about in a negative way when they overused a bullpen.
Yeah, they did.
But if you've got enough guys to cycle back to the big league club from the minor leagues and they pitch effectively, well, it doesn't harm you a bit.
True. Well, Jeff Bannister's relievers have a 5.47 ERA. That's dead last in the American League, but nonetheless we've seen them pitch well in this series, and especially now that they've made the change to Sam Dyson as their closer. Jake Diekman has electric stuff. Castro draws a walk to keep it going for Houston.
I'll say this, the decision to have Dyson be the closer looks like a good one for the moment. His stuff is exceptional.
Yeah, very, very good. Now Tony Kemp is pinch hitting for Jake Marisnick. Kemp is 2 for 8 as a big leaguer. This will be his first pinch hit at bat. He's been in 4 games. Had quite a debut in Chicago with a single and a double in his first major league start.
Outfield assist in that game.
Yeah. Jake Marisnick, by the way, had a double and a walk in his 3 trips today. Kemp with a foul ball falls behind 0-1 in the count. In that Blue Jay 3-1 win over the Twins, it was Marcus Stroman taking the victory, going to 5-1, beating Phil Hughes. He's 1-7 now. Osuna got his 9th save for the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista hit his 10th homer. Josh Donaldson number 11. Fouled, and it's 0-2 to Tony Kemp. Started playing some outfield last year. He had been a second baseman. And coming from Vanderbilt, that was his position. But the Astros are pretty well fixed with Mr. Jose Altuve at second base. So Tony Kemp has become a much more versatile player.
And you talked about Alex Bregman playing some outfield, some third base. You've got Carlos Correa in front of you. You're going to have to find another spot.
You bet. Kemp is down on strikes to end it, and the Rangers sweep this 3-game series, and they have won the first 6 games of the season series from the Astros. Cole Hamels going to 5-0, now takes his winning streak to 12 games, and the final score is the Rangers 9 and the Astros 2.